Welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson. Yeah, man, I won't be doing no gloating this year. Unfortunately, that's one of my favorite things to do is do some gloating. I love to be right, but thanks to the lackluster coaching performance of McVay and terrible quarterbacking of that of Jared Goff, and just an overall stinker on offense that the Rams pulled off. But I will say this here, if you'd have told me that New England's only going to score 13 points. Brady won't throw a touchdown. He would throw a pick. And like you give me those odds, any other team basically is winning. That's a W. You hold them to that, that's a W. Didn't happen. Belichick and his defensive coordinator, his coaching staff all together, the guys on obviously the players. Outstanding job on the Rams. Like they had maybe about 3 or 4 plays. The Rams hasn't been the same really since, in my opinion, at least Jared Goff hasn't been the same since that Chicago game when I think between him and Trubisky, they managed to throw 7 interceptions in that game. And Jared Goff looked horrible, and he hasn't really looked that great since then. I'm not going to go into details about the whole Todd Gurley thing because I have no idea what even went on with Gurley, why that went on. But seems to me that if a back scored 21 total touchdowns this year, former offensive player of the year from last year. That's all you're getting. That's it. That's all I'm getting from you. 10 touches. Y'all remember I told y'all. I said they should will route them to death. Do this, do that, do this. But if you not, they abandoned the run way too soon, and Jared Goff looked completely overwhelmed. There's no other word to say. Just overwhelmed. Going to the fact that you had Cooks who dropped. I don't care what anybody said. Me and my partner was even talking and said, well, guy made a good defensive play. Say, no. First one, he should have went up and got the ball. Just based upon how the game was going, you need to go up and make a play. He didn't. He waited, gave dude the opportunity to come in there. The ball was basically a duck coming out, but it had enough velocity to get to where it was at. And it was going to go out of bounds, but it floated high. If he goes up there and gets it, the guy's not making a play on the ball. He's not making a play on the ball. All his hands is on the ball, which is basically still was like that anyway. But he dropped that one. Then later on, I guess in the fourth quarter, that one was in his hand. My man said, "Oh, he only had one hand on it." I said, "This is the age of the one-handed catch. If the ball hits you anywhere in your hands and the where he had it at, that was 6 points. That completely can turn the game around. That's 12 points plus the 3. That's 15." At the very that's 12 points. What did I say? That's 15 points. I'm not even adding the other 2 because of 1 point if they score. So you're looking at 14. Looking at 17 points, possibly a 17-13 game, if that. Then Goff couldn't put anything on the ball. Cooks had beat the cornerback again, got behind him, but the guy Jared Goff underthrew the ball, interception. That's basically game. It just underwhelmed. The Rams defense did everything that you wanted them to do. Funny part about it is I told my old man, I said, he asked me who I like again. I said, I'm taking Rams 28-14. I think they can beat them and stuff like that. The crazy part about it is that I only picked New England to have 14 points. They end up doing 13, but I missed missed 25 points, obviously, for the Rams in my pick, in my pick and everything like that. But I had New England only scoring. I had New England only scoring 14 points, which was which was like basically 2 touchdowns. But they didn't even have 2 touchdowns. They had a field goal and they had a touchdown and 3 field goals or something like that. I'm like, it was a defensive game. Belichick, the defense was there. Offense was there, not there on both sides at all. But that was a stinker of a game, more or less. Not just from the terms of you thinking that was going to be a few more points on. I was looking for like I said, 28-14. That was the type of game that I was looking for it to come out. I was going to think it was going to be a slow first half, but the second half I figured it was going to jump up a little bit more, and that just didn't happen. Those defenses came out to play. Wade Phillips coached a hell of a game and stuff like that as the defensive coordinator. McVay deer in the headlights, just like his young quarterback, deer in the headlights. You never could. And like I said, again, with Todd Gurley, have no idea what happened to the young man, what went on. They barely even touch the ball. I mean, and all that. You still run the ball. You still run the ball. You still run the ball. That's your bread and butter system play action pass. If you abandon it, them guys just teeing off. But that's what Belichick does against young quarterbacks, does against them guys like that. You know why? He's been in the league so long to the point where he knows how he goes against young quarterbacks because he knows they make the same exact mistakes every time. They're the same guy, just a different incarnation of another player. Some elevate, some smooth out, some just bottom out. And we'll see what happens with Jared Goff. But like I said, he hasn't been the same since that Chicago game when Chicago beat him up and he threw a lot of those picks. So we'll see what happens with him. Like I said, not really sold on him, but we'll see what ends up happening. Not like I said, I'm not really sold on that guy, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. But you know, he had a good year and everything like that. I really wanted to see it come out better than that, but it didn't. So that's kind of my thing on the Super Bowl. Not a whole lot to really talk about because not a whole lot went on. But that just goes to show you of the of what happened in the particular game. And you know that allowed New England to get their get their sixth Super Bowl, and I think was it their ninth, eighth, and the ninth Super Bowl appearance. You know what I'm saying? And that's a feat in itself, and you got to give kudos to that. Those guys are in it every year. Those guys are in it every year, and I explain to you why those guys are in it every year. It's real simple. Belichick doesn't do anything to me that's special. He has mastered the game. It's nothing that he hasn't seen. Everything, like I said, the more things change, the more they remain the same. They get different names, different spins on them, different disguises with them and stuff like that. The more things change, the more they remain the same. There's nothing that he hasn't seen. There's no coverage that Bill Belichick hasn't seen. There's no particular type of quarterback he's never seen. Running back, defense, certain players, what they do, tendencies. He's seen them before from players in the 70s. He's seen them before from players in the 80s, 90s, the early aughts or 2000s, the mid 2000s. Now you're going into the second part of that, going into 2019, 2019. Nothing changed going into the 100th year of NFL football, of professional football. So if you look at it from that perspective, it's nothing that he hasn't seen. He's seen every change. He helped revolutionize the game. He was bringing in the two tight ends. He brought in Wes Walker, what you see now, everybody trying to get that particular type of player, that slot guy like Wes Walker onto Julian Edelman and the Deion Branches and Troy Browns. I'm just saying, just guys like that, and just take it to the next level when they had Wes Walker, just taking them guys and stuff like that because they've never had a home run threat except that year and a half or two with Randy Moss. You follow what I'm saying? Then when Moss started wanting them some money, well, he shipped them out of there. If you want to play football and win championships, you go play in New England. If you want all of that other, I say, look, Belichick has crafted a way because he's from that tree of Parcells to where I do not need superstars, even though it's some teams that have came through and all throughout the close to the 100 years that you would have a couple of teams that have a bunch of superstars on there and end up winning championships. That has happened. But Belichick, through that, Belichick has shown that I can build in a draft, not lose, not pay a bunch of money and stuff like, and get guys who want to play football, who is going to buy into my system. Now, what he will do, and I've said this time and time again, what he will do, he'll beef your resume up to the point that you go somewhere else, you're going to get your money. That has happened. You know what I'm saying? So guys like, some of them guys, I think was Chandler Jones and guys like that or whatever, and whatnot, the outside linebackers and stuff started wanting money and started mumbling around. He's not having that particular distraction on his ball club. If you want to play football, this is the place to play. This is what you're getting paid. But I'll give you enough resume where you can go somewhere else and they give you that money. And like I said, they're not playing that game over there. You don't see no $14 million running back over there. It's all 11 guys or all 22 guys, 11 offense, 11 defense. And like I said, Belichick's whole thing, I'm going to take your best from you. Okay? I'm going to take your best from you. On my side, I don't have that luxury. I got guys wanting to play football. So I expect a bunch out of them because they're not a top echelon stud type running backs and running backs and wide receivers and offensive linemen. So he expects a lot of them. Sometimes when guys are very, very, very good, they get sometimes a little pass on them and stuff like that. But Belichick knows. So when Belichick takes away people like Todd Gurley, takes away Cooks, he forces the other players who are not superstars to they have to up their game. And a lot of times those guys can't come. They can't do it. They can't rise to the occasion. But with Belichick's players, he expects all of them because all of them are journeyman, second, third rounder guy. He may have one first rounder up in there. And Tom Brady, from an athletic standpoint of view, come on, dude. We all know. I've spoken about that several different times. So this is what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a master. And as long as Brady has played quarterback in the league, it's nothing that he hasn't seen. And plus, with the rules, they can't touch him and stuff like that. So it is what it is. It's nothing that he hasn't seen. So everything is like two-step drop. If you give me time to throw a ball, it's going to be it's offensive friendly. The league guys are going to be open. Just part of right there, bam, bam, and the aura of the Pats frightens teams. Just look at what happened in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago when Atlanta had the game, and them guys got nervous. Andy Reid, go back to the Super Bowl back in 2005. He got nervous. They got nervous in Kansas City, nervous. Teams start getting nervous and stuff like that. That's why I said New England can be up 25-0. You will not come back on them 25-0. That's very rare if that happens. If New England it's like when they're up, they stay up and you won't be able to come back. And if you do manage to come back, you won't be able to climb all the way back. If you go up 25-0, you better keep the pedal to the metal because they are coming. That's how they play ball. So they have a particular aura about themselves where they play 60-minute ball, and the game's not over until all the zeros are on there. That's how they play ball. But just listen to what I said. If New England is up 28-0, you're not coming back from that. You're not going to come back and win that game. That doesn't happen with that team. You're not going to come back and win that game. That's not going to happen. You basically have lost that game. If you go up 28-0, you have to still continue to play because you know they're coming. Somewhere, form, or fashion, they're coming. That's the difference in the type of ball that they play. And that's what sets them aside. That's what sets them apart from all the rest of the other people. You don't hear all this stuff on jokers on Facebook and this and that and arguing on Instagram and a bunch of ridiculousness and stuff like that. You don't see that with them. They're there to play football. Belichick's a football coach. That's all he wants to talk about football. That other shit, it doesn't mean anything. And that's why they are successful. That's why Brady's successful. That's why Belichick's successful. But at the end of the day, that's Belichick's team. And Brady's not doing, you can't take, I said, do this. And I challenge anybody. You take Peyton Manning, put him over on that team there, on any of the Pats team, put him on the Pats team. And then you take Brady and then you put him over there with the Colts over there what he had. I don't think it'll be the same. I think it'll be completely different. But that's just me though. From just an aspect of playing the position, how it's done, how it looks, and like that. I'm always get at to Manning. I just think that with Brady, he doesn't panic. He's not going to panic. Manning will panic in a heartbeat, or he would always panic. Pressure bust pipes, as they say. But like I say, everything with my man is cerebral, and he's not going to beat himself. And that's what sets him apart, I think, and what makes him one of the greats. And he's going to be, and like I said, by the time of summertime, I'll probably have my top 100, my top century team that I'm going to put in. He's probably going to be on the top century. I'll give him that. But I've told y'all plenty of times, my motto. There is no GOAT. There's no greatest of all time. As long as time still going on, I'll be back in a minute.